same thing, all sensory is totally fine. And then, of course, like the last day scheduled, we got to come to the house, give him steak, and give him stuff, and the dog is like
Same
screeching.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the vet was like, it was Roman's dog.
Mm-hmm.
And I, of course I was emotionally touched,
Mm-hmm.
but Roman was like, should I cancel it? And I was like,
Oh, you kept you. I mean, you're honestly at that point
at that point,
probably the
yeah,
best
because
choice. It's
what's
also a
the,
vulnerable dog.
and what's the next
Lucy's
day?
only
Like,
8.
yeah, that's too
It's
much.
crazy.
But the next day, Guthrie was like, what's wrong again? I feel like expensive, da da da. I didn't get the steak, and like
Right.
everything I just haven't handle.
we already
Like that's what she
we're
got.
already too far along. Yeah. No,
Oh.
it's just the anticipation period is almost worse than the actual
Yes.
period. It's fun here.
Welcome.
Namaste.
Welcome. We'll heal you right up. Time is it? Did we all? Would the rain prevent us all from coming? It would have me if I didn't drive here.
It's not even raining yet.
I know, but the like alerts are scaring me. Like every second in West Philly, it's like tornado right now, flood above your head. I'm like, where? We just gotta live. Dashboard. Hi.
Ours were closed, so I was trying to be like respectful, I guess. They just actually sold their whole house. So we just sold last.
Hi, Sally. How are you? Success for Greece? Okay. I want to hear about it more in detail, but I just want to be like,
If I had more phones, they would go.
These ones too.
Yeah, all of them up.
Did your sister come with you? Was your sister there too?
No, but there was, there were sisters there. I was like, damn, I should have had my sister come, because actually it would have been really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was amazing. It was so good.
When did you guys get back?
I got back late last night.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm struggling.
In it.
Yeah. Actually, I was like, I drank the matcha at 5, and I was like, I'm still really tired. Mike was like, you just drank the matcha. I'm like, I know.
I know. All fighting all of the forces.
That's my way here.
Yeah, anytime, when Dad comes from India and he's like fully zonked out, he always arrives on the day that I have class in the evening, and he'll like do. He's like watching this class now. I should probably not record this, but he'll do like 5% of the class. I'll be like lunge, and he'll be like. But then Shavasana, fully Shavasana for the rest of class, and wake up and be like, oh, I beat my jet lag.
It's done. It's done. Yeah, that's like, well, if I get really tired, I can just get into it's fine.
Or you can literally just fall asleep. Yeah. I love to see it.
I really fear I will not get up. But
you're good. There's still time. We're waiting on a bunch. Hi, guys. Good to see you all. We'll start in a minute or two, just waiting on a lot more people, but unclear if they will come or the rain and parking has prevented them. But I think everyone has everything. We're going to use all the good stuff. We'll have some time to roll with therapy balls. I can grab those for you later on too. A strap, blocks, and we'll be doing a lot of stuff with the knees down. So if you'd like a blanket or a bolster for some padding, you can grab those, and then anything else. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Hi, y'all. Welcome. Okay. Easy. I went swimming today, and it felt great. Yeah. There's a pool close to my house in West Philly. Yeah, so did some laps and was like, all right, I think I feel human again.
Swimming is like just so nice.
I know. The hard part is it's such a learning curve beginning of the summer when I first, because I don't swim for the rest, I don't have an indoor pool that I go to. So I feel like I can never breathe because it's like reverse breathing. But now I'm like, I understand how this works. Hi.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, please.
You're probably able to answer today.
Yes.
Probably knowledge bits and stuff. But if there's any way you can incorporate anything
Yes. Yes. Twists are good, legs up the wall are good. We'll be doing the splits going up the wall. So we're finding a little space and then into the hips will be good. I really find, all bodies are different, all cycles are different. And I think the hardest part is like getting and moving to class. That's my experience is like doing some sort of movement tends to alleviate or at least distract. Show me what's happening. A lot of practice. But I'll say some extra certain points and see if they resonate. Yeah. I have to joke at it. Oh no, there is Advil if you need any. There's Advil downstairs and stuff too. And then also if you want to grab a bolster for Shavasana, like you can placing weight on your belly, might be really helpful. And I can come, when we set up for Shavasana, I can come help set that up. Yeah. All right, y'all, welcome. Perfect timing. Thank you for being here through the rain. The fingers are crossed that the rain will happen. We'll get like a nice downpour in Shavasana, and then my wish is the moment we step outside, it'll all be over. So fingers, toes, eyeballs crossed. I think almost everyone I know or have seen before, maybe once or twice, but on the off chance I didn't get to say hi to y'all, my name is Anisha. Thank you for coming. Yoga really does work, doesn't it? Even just driving here on Washington Avenue, because I come from West Philly, I hope none of you ever see me in the car, and if you do, I'm very sorry, because she contains multitudes, including road rage at trucks that are just stopped in the middle of Washington. But I was like, I'm going to yoga. I know immediately after it's going to be a cruise back home. So I'm really happy to be here. Announcements. It's August on Saturday, the Sunday of the summer, but there's still so much summer to go. If you have had a chance, some of you have had a chance to practice with Mariel, who owns the studio, who teaches on Sundays and a bunch of other days during the week. She's offering a mini immersion, not this weekend, but the weekend after on the 8th to the 9th. I've taken it a few times. A lot of what she teaches we incorporate in our teacher training. She's just phenomenal. So all of the information and like content covered is on the website. But feel free to chat any of our ears off if you have any questions about it. All right, so today, last week, we did this. No one came up to me after class and told me not to do this, so we're doing it again today and probably next week again. So some of us have been together for a couple of months. This might be a first time that we are together, but the thing that I like to do in the classes that I teach is teach a series of poses. So take a couple of weeks or a month to focus on either one pose or a mythological story and just see how the practice transforms from time point to time point. So way, way back, if you can scan the depths of your mind into January when it was freezing cold outside and the beginning of the year, in January, I taught this one pose in all different orientations to gravity, and we're revisiting it kind of in the halfway mark of the year itself. And the pose that we're moving towards and that we've been practicing is the pose that's dedicated to one of the great lords of yoga. I found my comic book as I was dusting today, where all of the stories that I tell you that I've learned started from here when I was really young in comic form. They used to sell these comics at the grocery store on 42nd and Walnut. They don't anymore, you buy them on the internet. But for each one of the gods, goddesses that you might hear teachers telling at the studio, there is a comic version of it, which is a great access point into hearing and learning about these stories in a fun way. So the Lord that we're talking about today, he's the one who has the face of the monkey, the body of a human, and you can't see it here so much, but he has a really long tail that helps him leap in full splits from one universe to the other. That's what the Hanuman, this god that we're talking about, is most known for, leaping in full splits. And so last week I mentioned the story of when Hanuman was a little boy, he got into trouble, bit what he thought was a ripe, juicy mango in the sky, and it turned out to be the god of the sun, and he got a little punished. And hi, come on in. And this week, it's something slightly different. He's more in his adult form. So I'll tell you the quick, abridged Cliff Notes version of the story, and then we'll get into practice and moving. But there's so much to say about him, and he's such a fun character to think about. But once upon a time, a long, 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 long time ago, there was the prince and princess of this great land had been banished into the forest. And as they're banished into the forest for 14 years, they encounter a whole series of a cast of characters that they normally wouldn't have ever encountered. And one of them is Hanuman, the one who has the face of the monkey and the body of the human. And time goes on, they get into all sorts of scuffles, adventures, conquests, and perils. And in one of these stories, one of the brothers in this community that they're in, he gets poisoned. So Lakshman gets himself into trouble. Also, this is the story of the Mahabharata, which is 100,000 verses, and I'm trying to tell it to you in 6 minutes or less. So just know that this is the very short version, and there's a lot of morals and stories that happened even before I get to where we're going. But Lakshman gets poisoned, and no one who's there knows how to heal him or fix him or where the antidote is. Until one sage comes up and says, there's something that can heal him. He's going to die before the sun comes up again. But it's this very particular flower that's in the foothills of a mountain that's very, very far away. It's an 18-hour journey to get there, and we only have a short period of time. And so Hanuman comes to the forefront, and he says, I'm going to go. The task that takes 18 hours, I can do in 18 seconds. I don't know where I'm going to, but I'm going to find my way there, and I'll bring the antidote back to save Lakshman. And everyone says, okay. Like, good luck. We're excited to see what happens. So Hanuman, he stands with one foot in the forest of Ayodhya, this known territory, the place where all of his people are. And the story goes, he takes one full flying split into the foothills of the Himalayas, where this mountain, where this antidote is thought to reside. And he's searching around, he's trying to traverse the mountain, he sees the sun setting, and he's like, there's nothing that I can do. I can't find where this antidote is. And so he decides with one hand, he's like, let me take the mountain to where I need to go. He lifts the mountain in one palm. With the mountain in his hand, he takes another full split back into the forest to deliver the mountain. The sage that's there quickly finds the antidote, and yay, heals Lakshman, the poisoned brother. But then the sage looks at Hanuman and says, you can't just leave this mountain here. It's not meant to be here. So Hanuman goes, okay, picks up the mountain again, does a full third split, delivers the mountain in return, and then fourth split, he returns home. The end. There's a lot more where, he fights a crocodile and cracks the crocodile open, and inside the crocodile there's a goddess who warns him of a sage that's trying to poison him. There's a lot more. However, we're doing splits today. We're doing 4 splits today. And the reason why, oftentimes when I tell these mythological stories, I like to ask the question, why am I telling you this? Why is this of any relevance? And one, occasionally it's just fun to hear a fantastical tale that you may have heard of before, that you may have never heard of, to really just stretch your imagination and your capacity. But the beauty of the story of Hanuman is that, every character in these stories is an aspect of ourselves. And while it's not necessarily that we're carrying literal mountains in full splits from one universe to the other, there is still something that we are holding and carrying that impacts us in a different shape and form. So I have an infinite amount of stuff to say about it as we start to get moving into it, but for the sake of getting these bodies going around, let's begin the journey of the splits, the full leaps to see where it takes us. So when the time comes, go ahead and find as comfortable a way to be as you can. Maybe that's a seat with your legs crossed or on your knees. You might be lying down fully on the ground, but come to find a way that you can be in your body that allows for you to feel both steady and easeful. So any small shifts or adjustments that you might need to your hair or to your clothes, feel free to find them. And as your hands fall anywhere they fall, into your lap or onto your thighs, let your eyes close so you can listen more fully for your breath. When you close your eyes, it's a moment to see every version of yourself more clearly than before. There's the you that you are here and now in your seat, and the you that you continue to become into. They all exist in this form that you're in. So without the need to shift or change or alter your breath in any way, can you take a moment to notice where that breath prefers to be this evening? For some of us, it stays higher up in the chest and more in the front of your body. And the more you notice your breath, can you see how it remembers you in return? Let your next inhale move from your nose, down into your belly, and up into your chest. And as you exhale, feel the breath move up and out through the very top of your head, so your head rests above your heart, and your heart rests above your hips. Take a few more of those breaths just on your own, letting each breath move in and down as it fills you up. And each exhale pours itself up, out, and through you. Our time together will begin with 3 more rounds of that breath. So as you're ready, begin to gather your hands to center, anywhere that might feel for you, on your person or in front of your heart. But as you wait for your next inhale, let it fill you up completely. And exhale to offer all of that breath out. 2 more times, just on your own. At the bottom of your breath, pause for even a moment and notice any difference that comes when you listen for and really remember your own breath. And as you keep that attention inward, let your hands slowly release, start to blink your eyes open, and we'll begin together standing today at the top of your mat. So as you come up to stand, you might have your blocks framing out the front corners and sides of your mat. Perhaps you use them as we start to move about. But come to stand with those feet underneath your hips. Unlock your knees. And as you hug the shoulder blades towards each other, let your arms fall down by your sides. Find a steady point to gaze or let your eyes soften as you remember your breath. Take a long breath in and down. And as you exhale, feel your feet press down into the earth as you grow 1 inch taller through the crown of your head. Now keeping your eyes opened or closed, as you inhale, start to reach your arms forward and up to the ceiling. Get a drop taller. And as you exhale, stay standing as your hands come down by your sides. Let's do that 4 more times together. Unlock the knees as you breathe in, reach your arms up. And wait for the exhale to let your hands come down. Can you grow taller through the crown of your head? 3 more times. Wait for your inhale, unlock the knees, grow an inch taller. And as you exhale and the arms come down, can you slide the bottom ribs back to steady the middle of your back? 2 more on your own. Breathe in. Even open your mouth to let the breath out as the hands come down by your sides. And then last time, on your next inhale, reach up to touch the sky. And on your exhale, soften your knees, start to hinge at your hips, and let your hands tap blocks or the floor out in front of your feet as you bow in towards yourself. Here in your forward fold, let your head be heavy. Even slowly lean weight forward into the balls of your feet and then back into your heels. And as the rocking gets a little less, can you feel the weight evenly in all the corners of your feet themselves, bowing towards your own heart, your own center? Now on your next inhale, come up halfway to lengthen with your hands to your blocks or your shins. Reach your heart forward. And as you exhale, fold, bowing in towards yourself once again. Let's do that 3 more times on your own. A slow breath to lengthen as you reach the heart long. Let the bottom ribs lift up. And exhale to fold in towards yourself. 2 more times. Unlock the knees as you inhale, lengthen halfway. And on your exhale, fold, bowing in towards your own being. Last one. On an inhale, come up halfway to lengthen. Tone the belly to support the low and mid back. And as you exhale, keep that length as you fold in towards yourself. Now begin to plant your palms to the top of your mat. Walk your feet all the way back to take it to downward facing dog. And in your first down dog of class, see if your hands can come as wide as your mat. Let your pinkies even graze the edges of your mat itself. Walk your feet an inch wider than they are already. Give yourself a little more room. And as you let your heels lift, take a tiny bend in your knees to let the backs of your legs release. With the knees bent, stick your butt up and back towards the wall behind you. Feel the curve in and through your low back. And now keep the right knee bent as you pedal just the left heel to the ground. Notice what you feel in the back of the left leg. Now soften the left knee, think butt high to the sky. Keep that as the opposite heel pedals to the earth. Taking a longer breath in and an even deeper breath out through your nose or mouth. Now begin to lift both heels. Soften your knees, peek forward, and 1 foot at a time, walk your feet up towards your palms to come into your forward fold. Inhale lengthens you halfway, grow long through the spine. And on your exhale, fold, bowing in towards yourself. Take a breath to rise, stand through your legs, sweep your arms forward and up, get a drop taller than you've been. And as you exhale, let your hands come down by your sides. For this round of Surya Namaskar, follow your breath more than my voice. Inhale to reach up. As you exhale, fold, bowing in. On your inhale, hi Kiko, come up halfway to lengthen. And as you exhale, fold, plant your palms. This time, step it back to plank pose. A full round of breath here in your plank. And as you exhale, begin to bend your elbows to lower all the way down to your belly. Let your hands come as wide as your mat. Inhale to rise for cobra or baby cobra as you lift your chest up. And on your exhale, take it back to downward facing dog, tabletop or puppy pose for 3 deep breaths here on your own. And you know, as the story goes, Hanuman was able to lift the weight of the mountain in so many different directions. And while it might not be a literal mountain that you carry, can you feel the weight of your own body connected to the earth? And as you press your palms down and forward, feel your butt lift up and back, whether you're in down dog, in table, or puppy, and breathe into that space that was always there. At the bottom of your exhale, take your time, begin to lift your heels, soften your knees, peek forward, and come forward, feet to your hands, to your standing forward fold. As you inhale, lengthen halfway, grow longer through the spine. And on your exhale, keep the length as you fold in towards yourself. Use your own fists and measure your feet about 2 fists width apart, relatively hip distance. And as your toes point straight ahead, bend your knees, sit your hips back, and slide those palms to your thighs for this round of chair pose. Now think butt heavy to the back of the room. Guide your knees open towards your second and third toes. As you press into your legs, can you lift your chest away from the ground? And now here, begin to slide your hands towards your own ribs. As you spread the fingers wide, can you feel the bottom ribs move back, like you could stitch your fingertips towards each other? Feel the middle of your back widen. Stay right here, or if you'd like some heat in the upper body, you might reach your arms up to the ceiling, but take a long breath in and down. Stay for the exhale, think bottom ribs back as you slide the ears back to lift your chin. Now a full breath to come all the way up to rise, reach up to touch the sky. And as you exhale, fold in towards yourself. Keep your right foot forward, step your left foot all the way back to find your lunge. And now lower your left knee down onto a blanket or to the floor. Once the back knee is down on your mat, heel toe your right foot an inch over to the right. And begin to climb your hands up onto your hips to lift your chest away from the ground. Here, feel that sensation of moving the bottom ribs back. And now on your inhale, reach both arms up to the sky, bend your left elbow, and give yourself a pat on the back with the left hand. As your right fingertips grab onto the elbow, lift the elbow high, and press your head back to lift your chin away from your chest. Now remember the breath, a full breath in and down. Stay for the exhale. Can you slide those bottom ribs back? Press your head back, look away from the floor, and bend one more inch into your front knee. A big breath in and a longer breath out. And now on your next inhale, unwind your arms, tap them down, lift your back knee, and as many leaps as you need to bring your left foot to meet your right, back into your forward fold. Inhale to lengthen halfway, grow longer through the spine, and exhale to fold in towards yourself. Keep those feet hip width apart, and as your left foot stays forward, slide your right foot back to lunge. Lower your back knee onto any padding that you need, and as you heel toe your left foot an inch over to the left, start to rise and lift your chest up and away from the ground. Here, wrap the right hip forward, the left hip back, and as you inhale, reach your arms up to the ceiling. This time, bend your right elbow, pat yourself on the back, and let the left fingertips grab on. Think elbow high. As you press the head back, try to look away from the floor. And because it's a back bend, sometimes the ribs want to move forward. Slide the ribs back to support the middle of your back. A full breath in. Stay for the exhale. Keep lifting the right elbow up as you bend into your left knee and thigh. Let it get heavy to the earth. And now on your next breath, unravel your arms, tap them down to your sticky mat, and step it back to downward facing dog. Let those hands come as wide as your mat. And a few more times together on an inhale, come through to your plank. Wait for the exhale to lower, Chaturanga Dandasana. Drink in that breath as you rise, Cobra Bhujangasana. And on your exhale, take your time to meet in downward facing dog as your hips lift to the sky. A full steady breath in through the nose and an even longer breath out through your nose or mouth. Now from your down dog, inhale to lift the right leg up and back. Step your right foot through or around to find your lunge. You might bring your blocks with you as you pivot your hands and feet over to the left and come into your wide-legged forward fold facing the long edge of your mat. Now here, like you did in that first forward fold, both unlock your knees and try to lean the weight both forward into the balls of your feet and back into the heels evenly. Now inhale to hug the feet towards each other. Press into your fingertips or blocks to lift your chest halfway to lengthen. Keep your right fingertips connected and bring your left palm to your low back. Shrug your left shoulder to the ear. Hug the left shoulder blade to your spine, and from the depths of your belly, start to turn to the back of the room. Now that hand on your low back can act as a little reference as your butt trying to really come with you. Lean your butt more to the front of the room. Turn your belly and chest to the back of the room. And then slide your ears back so your head is in line with your heart. Stay here the whole time. You might reach your left arm up to the ceiling, but a long breath in and down. Stay for the exhale, even here, ribs back as you lean back. Now inhale to unwind, lower your hands back to the blocks or floor. Start to turn your right knee and toes through to lunge and bring your hands to frame out your right foot. Heel toe your right foot a couple of inches over to the right. And on your inhale, come up to rise for high lunge as you reach your arms up to the sky. In your high lunge, can you lift your back heel higher up off the ground? Push through your left foot to wrap your left hip forward and the right hip back. Now grow tall through the fingertips. Look away from the floor. A big breath in. Stay for the exhale and bend into your front knee. Bring your hands to your hips, straighten your right leg, take a big breath in to grow tall, and as you exhale, hinge at your hips and bring your fingertips to blocks or the floor on either side of your right foot. Now keep wrapping the left hip forward. One more time, push into your blocks to come up halfway to lengthen. Keep your left fingertips connected and bring your right hand to your right hip crease. Wrap your right butt cheek back. Shrug your right shoulder up and back, and from the depths of your belly, start to turn open to the right. Again, stay here and breathe. Maybe reach your right arm up to the ceiling for this version of revolved triangle, but think outer right hip back. Press the big toe side edge of your right foot down as you lean back against yourself, breathing. On your next inhale, start to unwind, lower your hands to your sticky mat and step it all the way back to downward facing dog. Pedal the heels from one side to the other. See if any shifts from one leg and one hip to the other. Now following your breath more than my voice with those hands as wide as your mat, inhale to plank pose. Wait for your exhale to lower, Chaturanga Dandasana. A long breath in to rise, Cobra, Bhujangasana. Kiss the shoulder blades towards each other. And on your exhale, take it back to downward facing dog. You might mentally locate your strap. We'll add a shoulder stretch on this side. So as you lift the left leg up and back, step your left foot through or around to find that lunge. You might bring your strap with you as you pivot your hands and feet over to the right for your wide-legged forward fold on the other side. Now here, unlock the knees, and now either grab the strap between your hands somewhere at your low back or interlace your fingers, it's up to you. But start to bend your elbows quite a bit and hug your shoulder blades towards each other. Keeping the elbows bent as you bow in, reach your arms off of your butt up towards the sky for a chest opener. Sometimes when the arms go overhead, the elbows want to lock out. So please keep a little bend in your elbows and a tiny bend in your knees. And with each inhale, hug the feet towards each other. As you exhale, try to tug your strap or your fingers apart and kiss the shoulder blades together on your upper back. A deeper breath in. And a longer breath out, even lift the chin away from your chest and imagine like your heart could reach towards the earth. Good, slowly release your hands back to your butt. Ditch the strap if you have it. Come up onto your fingertips or blocks and come up halfway to lengthen. Now with your left hand connected, your right palm comes to your lowest part of your back. Shrug your right shoulder to the ear. Wrap the right shoulder blade to your spine, and from your belly button, turn to the back of the room. Remember, every part of you is connected to something else, so when you twist to the right, the hips want to sway with. Lean your butt more to the left. Turn the belly and chest to the right. And as you slide your ears back, maybe the right arm reaches up to the ceiling. A deep breath in. Stay for the exhale, ribs back as you lean back against yourself. Now on your inhale, unwind your arms, lower them down to the floor. Start to turn your left knee and toes through to your lunge. And as you heel toe your left foot a few inches to the left, inhale to rise for high lunge on the second side. Here, the hips want to spin to the right. Wrap your right hip forward, the left hip back. And as if you had another set of hands on you, think ribs back as you look away from the ground. A deeper breath in, a longer breath out as you bend into your front knee and grow taller through the crown of your head. Now hands come to your hips. Straighten your left leg. Take a full breath in. And on your exhale, hinge from your hips. Tap your fingertips to those blocks or the floor on either side of your left foot. Wrap the right hip forward. Press into your blocks to come up halfway to lengthen. Now with your left hand to your left hip, you can give yourself your own little assist here. Wrap the left butt cheek back. Hug the left shoulder up and back and let that action turn your chest open to the left. Now even here, ribs back like in chair pose. Slide the ears back to lean back, and maybe you reach the left arm up to the sky, but a full breath in and down. Stay for the exhale, think left butt cheek back and press the left big toe side edge of your foot down, good. Inhale to unwind, lower your hands to your sticky mat and all the way back to downward facing dog. We meet again. And one more time together, inhale through to your plank pose. And this time as you exhale, lower all the way down onto your belly. Once you're on your belly, make a pillow with your hands. Rest on your forehead or on one side of your cheek. Let your eyes soften for a moment as you remember your breath once again. These stories of Hanuman, these mythological stories, again, they can be these grand fairy tales that you hear, listen to, and just let your mind expand into different directions it might not have gone. But all of these mythological stories came from the human condition. And the story of Hanuman is one of forgetting who he was for a moment and reminding himself of, bless you, of who he's always been. And so here, can you call yourself back to your own breath, a deeper breath in through the nose to fill your belly and up into the chest. And as you exhale through your nose or mouth, let the parts of you that are touching the ground get a little heavier into what they're holding. Now, if you're on one palm or one side of your cheek, just switch which one you're on to keep it even and take another full three-dimensional breath in. And even open your mouth to let that breath out. That's it. After a few breaths, bring your hands to either side of your chest. Make your way up through to tabletop. Feel free to sit back onto your heels, sip some water, take a breath or two, and shake out anything that needs to get shaken. Comfortably getting warmer. The AC is on, but the moment someone says to turn it down cooler, I will. Okay, even if I don't suggest, take breaks, sip water at any point that you so choose, but let's get into those legs a little more fully. So from tabletop, you might have a blanket underneath your knees. We'll come in for the first of the thigh stretches. You might also have blocks underneath your hands to bring the floor higher up to you. But as you make your way to all fours in any shape or form, step your right foot to the outside of your right hand and walk your left knee back an inch or two so your left knee is behind your hip. Now press into your blocks or the floor to lift your chest up, and one hand at a time, walk your palms over to the left corner of your mat. Peek over that left shoulder, say hi to your left foot, and as you bend your left knee, lift your left toes up off the ground. In slow motion, start to reach your left hand around for the top of your left foot, or find a strap to lasso the foot, or grab onto the ankle. But before we add anything on, can you look down at your belly and now slide those ribs back and see what that does in the left thigh. Now push into your right hand to lift your chest away from the floor. Stay here, or any other variations, you might walk your right hand back to the inside of the foot. You might play with some balance and climb your right palm to the top of your right thigh. You might also wrap your right hand around to hug onto the left foot. For all of these variations of Anjaneyasana, leaping monkey, the prep for the split. As you take a long breath in and down, let it fill you up. Stay for the exhale. Try to look away from the floor to where you're going as you bend one more inch into your front knee. Now with care, let your right hand touch down first, then let go of your back foot and step it all the way back to tabletop. A breath or two here in stillness, maybe a breath or two in cat and cow to call yourself back to your own breath. And now we got that other thigh to address. So when you find your way back to neutral, step your left foot to the outside of your left hand. Take your time to walk the right knee back so it's ever so slightly behind your hip. And now try to look away from the ground. Press into your palms to lift your chest up. When you walk your hands over to the right, you're trying to shorten the distance between your hand and foot. So when you bend your right knee, there might be more access to grabbing onto the right foot with your right hand. And now here, think ribs back. Hug the shoulder blades together as you look away from the floor. There's a world to explore right here, breathing. Or any of those variations we did on the first side apply, bringing your hand to the inside of the foot, climbing it up onto the thigh or wrapping it around. But can you find a steady point to gaze away from the earth as you listen for the breath, a deeper breath in and down. And as you exhale, feel the breath move up and out through you while you bend 1 more inch into your front knee. And now with care, let your left hand tap first, then release the back foot. Step it back to tabletop. And from table, make your way to downward facing dog for a breath longer as you lift your hips to the sky. Now here in your down dog, do bring those hands as wide as your mat. It'll help steady the foundation of where you're moving towards next. And from down dog, on an inhale, lift the right leg up and back. Now pause here as you flex your right foot and straighten your right leg. Sometimes the right hip wants to roll open to lift the leg higher. Can you instead turn the right hip and toes to face the floor? Now lift your right inner thigh to the front of the room. Come onto your left tippiest of tippy toes, slide the ribs back and lift your right inner thigh 1 more inch towards me. Now look between your hands and step your right foot through to catch your lunge. Whee! Good. Heel toe your right foot an inch over to the right. And on your inhale, 1 more time, come up to rise for high lunge as your arms reach to the sky. Lift your back, heel, knee, and thigh up. Stretch up through the fingertips, a full breath in. And as you exhale, bend 1 more inch into your front knee. Now hands come to your hips, getting springy. Spring off of your back foot and all the leaps you need to scoop your left thigh to your chest. Stand down through your right foot. Grow up and out through the crown of your head. And now here, bend your right standing knee a lot like chair. And for warrior 3, start to hinge from your hips. Reach your chest forward as you extend the left leg back. I'm less concerned of how high that left leg is, but can you flex the foot and straighten the left leg? And now as you slide the ribs back, reach back through your left heel and forward through the crown of your head. Your hands might stay on your hips. You might reach them out in front of you. You might reach them off to the side, but a full breath in and down. Stay for the exhale as you offer all of that breath out. And now bend your right knee just enough to tap your left foot back to lunge and bring your hands onto the floor. Not quite done yet, almost there. Heel toe your right foot all the way over to the left side of your mat and lower your right knee and shin onto the earth for pigeon pose, a hip opener. Remember, if for any reason pigeon doesn't feel suitable on the right knee or the hip, lizard lunge is a phenomenal option. Same hip opener, just less intensity. But here in your pigeon or lizard, press into the fingertips to lift your heart up. You can stay upright. You might walk those hands forward of your shoulders. You might lower onto your blocks or forearms. But 3 deep breaths here at your pace. A slow breath in and down. And with every exhale, whether you're upright or folding forward, can you reach the bottom of your heart towards the front of the room? Feel the back and sides of your neck grow a drop longer than they were. After 3 breaths here at your pace, Begin to walk your hands back to come under your shoulders. Lift your back knee, and all the time and all the breaths you need to make your way back to downward facing dog. Pedal those heels one at a time. Take a breath to see any shifts that you notice or feel. A long inhale in through the nose, and a deeper breath out through your nose or mouth. And now all that on the other side. As you inhale, lift just the left leg up and back. Now pause here for a moment. Try to turn your left hip and toes to face the ground. And as you straighten your left leg, feel the left inner thigh reach towards the front of the room. Come onto your right tippiest of tippy toes. Slide the ribs back. Lift the left leg 1 more centimeter. And now look between your hands and step that left foot through to find your lunge. Heel toe your left foot 1 inch to the left, and on your inhale, take your time. Come up to rise for the last high lunge of class, the 400th one. It was 4 splits, but 400 lunges. So here, as you wrap your right hip forward and the left hip back, think ribs back, look away from the ground, take a big breath in, stay for the exhale and bend 1 more inch into your front knee. Now get springy off that back foot. Take all the hops you need to scoop your right thigh to your chest. Stand down through the left leg. Grow up and out through the crown of your head. And your hands might stay overhead, or as you bring them to your hips, bend your left knee like chair. Start to hinge from your hips. And as you reach your chest forward, extend that right leg back. Regardless of how high the right leg is, flex your right foot and straighten the right knee. Reach back through the right heel and slide the bottom of your heart forward. A full breath in and down. Stay for the exhale as you offer all of that breath out. And now bend your left knee just enough to tap your right foot back to lunge. Let your hands kiss the sticky mat. And for lizard or pigeon pose, for pigeon, you heel toe your left foot over to the right as the left knee and shin comes down. For lizard, you walk the left foot all the way over to the left. But a few breaths here. Stay upright, come down onto your palms, your forearms or blocks. But whether your eyes are opened or closed, can you call yourself back to the fluency of your breath first? A long breath in and down. And as you exhale, can you unclench your fingers and fists? Reach the bottom of your heart forward to grow 1 inch longer than you've been before, breathing. That's it. After a few breaths, if you folded forward, begin to walk your hands back to lift your chest up. And come on back to downward facing dog 1 more time as your hips lift to the sky. As you make your way to down dog, walk your feet to come as wide as your mat. A tiny bend in your knees, and 1 palm at a time, start to walk those hands back to meet your feet so you fold somewhere at the back-ish of your mat. Let your feet be wide, let the knees be soft. Your hands might touch the floor, you might grab opposite elbows, but let your head be heavy here, bowing in towards your own heart. A longer breath in, and even open your mouth to let that breath out, folding towards yourself. After a few breaths, bring those hands up to your hips. Stand down through your legs, and a slow inhale to come up to rise as your hands come down by your sides. All that for the splits. We're going to do them with the wall today. So please bring the short edge of your mats to the wall. You don't need to bring anything with you. If you want to bring your props, you definitely can. But we'll stay at the wall for a short period of time and then come back to the middle of the room. But there should be plenty of room for everyone to find their way in if we just want to make a little space. Everyone finding room? I know, it's, you ask, I say bring all of the props and then you have to move, I have to move them and I'm like, oh no, it's gonna take 45 minutes, but we made it. So here, last week if we were together, we explored Hanumanasana on the ground itself, for both of those legs were on the ground. For this variation, we're taking it a little inverted because one thing you might notice is gravity, well, hopefully you notice, gravity is a powerful beast. And sometimes when the legs are on the earth, it becomes difficult to access this little rotation in the hips that we're trying to seek. So I'll show you the first version that we're doing together. We'll all do it together. And then the second round will be an option if you so decide. So this one looks like this. Yeah. Okay, in a second, you'll make your way to your tabletop with your feet towards the wall and your hands to the middle of the room. And you'll come in to your tiny down dog at the wall. And now, the way that I like to sequence and teach classes here is that we have done this pose like 7 different times, but in just different shapes in relationship to gravity. So it's all the same principles that we've been working on are gonna apply here, even when you flip it upside down. So here, from your down dog, you'll lift one leg as high as it can go up the wall. And now sometimes the knee is bent. And if the knee is bent, see if your hands can come a little further forward so you can really straighten this top leg. Now the other thing that happens, remember, none of you are doing this. I just like to over-exaggerate so you can see the extremes. But like we did in those 3-legged dogs, sometimes this hip wants to open and the belly and ribs want to drape down onto that bottom thigh. Nothing bad is going to happen. You just eventually feel it in the back of the knee rather than in those hamstrings. So I want you to think, wrap the hip down, not just to wrap the hip down, but to really lift this hip up away from the floor. And as you slide the ribs back, you breathe here. And then when you want to come out, you lower into tabletop, child's pose, or forward fold, anywhere where your head can be below your chest for a second or two. Yes? Okay, in the story, this is the first split. We are moving from the forest to the mountain. Are we with me? First leap. We got 3 more to do, so we'll see where it takes us. If there's any questions that come up, call them out. I guarantee you someone else has them, but let's see how this first one goes. So come to your tabletop with your feet somewhere close to the wall or touching the wall. And I invite you to bring your hands as wide as your mat. It'll help give you more support in the chest and shoulders. Now from your table, come to your down dog at the wall. Take a breath here. And from your down dog, lift your right leg as high up the wall as it can possibly go. Now if it feels like the right knee is bent, look forward, walk your hands an inch forward so you can really straighten the right leg. Now, without moving your hands, can you wrap your right hip down towards the earth so that that outer left hip can lift away from the ground? And now ribs back as you push through your palms. You're breathing. Try to breathe in there. In through the nose, out through the nose or mouth. You're carrying the mountain in the first of 4 splits. You got to breathe into it. When you want to come out, you lower the top foot. Pause in forward fold, in a down dog, in table, just somewhere where your head can be below your chest, and somewhere where the right and left side of you are doing something even. That was it. You want to try the other? How'd that go? It looked good. It's one of those poses that when we do in a couple of rounds, the shift of those hips that I was talking about that you guys all did, it doesn't look like you have done anything, but I hear, as soon as the hips shift, it's like, there's like a wave of breath that comes through, and that's what I'm seeking. Not the gripping or the tightness of the breath, but that full stream of breath coming in and through. Should we try the other side? Let's try the other side. Lovely Keyshawn, who came to class yesterday, I taught this exact thing. He texted me afterwards. He was like, my legs feel like they're 10 miles long. I was like, walk the catwalk, baby. Time to find a runway. So that's the dream. So from table, hands wide, press your fingertips down, and now make your way to your tiny down dog at the wall. Breathe in there. There's no urgency. There's no poison brother. We're here to breathe. Lift your left leg as high up the wall as it can go. Tuck the toes. And remember, if the knee feels bent, walk your hands forward. Give yourself space so you can straighten that back leg. Wrap your left hip down so you can lift your outer right hip up. And now ribs back as you push that metaphorical mountain down to breathe into that space that was always there. When you want to come out, you lower the feet and take a moment to pause in your symmetrical shape. In through the nose and all the way out through the nose or mouth. That's it. Thoughts, conundrums, questions, ideas, insights?
I can't tell how far my arms should be sort of forward of my shoulders or right under my shoulders.
Forward of the shoulders for this one. This next variation, you might walk your hands back to under your shoulders, but it's really, my suggestion is I'd like to see the hands, everyone was doing it, but the wider your hands are instead of right under your shoulders, the more supportive it'll feel on the chest and shoulders itself. But I know what you mean, of like starting, am I here or here? Yeah. This next pose might be able to show where the shoulders go. So I'll show you this one. If it doesn't answer the question, I can take a look. Okay, leap 1, the mountain is secured. Leap 2, we've delivered the mountain. The antidote has been found. The poison brother is saved. We got to deliver the mountain back. So this is the third. These are small adjustments to maybe find a little bit more room than there might have been before. So this one looks like the same exact setup from either tabletop or your hand slightly further forward. You come into your down dog once again. And now here, as you lift this top leg up, it's the same actions. Hip down, straighten this leg, and really slide the ribs back. Oh, God. And now only if it feels like there's more room. Patricia, to your question, my shoulders are behind my wrists instead of over, like they're in down dog. Only if it feels like there's more room, you might walk your hands back like a centimeter or a full palm print. But when you do that, you got to squeegee the back toes up. And now it's these actions. I'm not trying to muscle my way away from the ground, like push through the floor to lift this leg up, but it's the moving of the hips. As this top hip wraps down, then the bottom foot might float up off the floor. And as I slide the ribs back, I push the ground away from me. Maybe that bottom foot grounds to the sticky mat, and your pelvis moves to the wall. And you breathe in here. And when you want to come out, you lower the knees and pause. Yes? So from the outside in, it might not seem like there's a lot of adjustments and moving around, but from the inside out, I feel like I have carried the mountain. It's these small little shifts that you make for your own body and being that help you find your center, your breath, where you are in space. And that's what we're looking for. So I'll talk you through all of that, but if at any point you're like, I don't want to continue, you stay exactly where you are.
Another question.
Yes.
So even before this sort of jump, I felt in that previous position that when I move my hip down, the other leg sort of starts to come up. That's the goal.
That's the goal.
Okay.
Yes. And then once it lifts up, you're trying to push your palms into the floor to ground that bottom foot back to the ground without letting the hip spiral open. I know, me too. Should we try it? Deliver the mountain back to its resting place. Come to your downward facing dog, please. And breathe here when you find your spot. From your down dog at the wall or tabletop, lift your hips up and away from the floor. You'll lift your right leg up and back. And now pause here without doing anything different. Exactly what we did before. Wrap the right hip down, the left hip up, and ribs back. And now only if it feels like there's some space, look at your hands and walk your palms back towards the wall and squeegee the right toes higher up the wall. And it's the same action, the right hip down, right hip down, right hip down. That's it, Daniel. Lift the left hip up. Maybe float the left toes up off the floor and then ribs back. You might ground your left heel back to your sticky mat as you send your pubic bone to the wall. You breathe in there. Wee. And then to come out, you walk your hands forward and do rest for a breath or two. Yes.
I felt that here a lot.
Hands wider, thumbs forward, hug the shoulder blades together. Also, if it felt like too much, sometimes the shoulder blades want to round. But when the shoulder blades come together, these move out, so it's ribs back and the shoulder blades together. And if you do it again and you're like, absolutely not, you can always try it on the forearms. You can also pause. Yeah?
If I feel it like in my elbows, is that probably that I'm locking them a little bit?
So what you want to do is unlock them and then hug your palms together. And then keeping them hugging in, you push your arms towards straight. So the biceps and the forearms engage. Yeah. There's so much in one pose, you know? All the body parts are in motion. You come into class thinking it's full splits, and then the shoulders and elbows are involved. And you're like, what's happening? Last side, mountain delivered. We got to go back home. Last round. Come to your tabletop, please. And then here, exactly, with your hands wide, unlock the elbows, hug your palms towards each other, and now push your palms towards straight without locking the elbows out as you come to your tiny table or down dog at the wall. Breathe. Lift your left leg as high as it can go. Straighten the knee and flex the foot. Breathe here. Wrap the left hip down and the right hip up. And now again, only if it feels appropriate, walk your hands back an inch or a centimeter. And as you squeegee the left toes up the wall, wrap your left hip down, the right hip up, maybe the right foot flexes up off the floor and ribs back. Maybe you ground your right heel back to your sticky mat as you send your pelvis, your pubic bone, your hips to the wall. Breathe. When you want to come out, you might walk your hands forward to give you space to lower the knees and rest in table, in child's pose, in any variation that you so choose. Breathing. Whew. Full splits, Hanumanasana, where every limb of your body is moving in a different direction. Not only are you carrying the weight of your body against the ground, but Hanuman asks us, despite all of the things that are happening, can you remember your own breath first and foremost? So after a few breaths, and you make your way back up, let's come back to our original spots, back in the middle of the room, and roll it out to go to sleep. Nice work. Did the second side feel better on the shoulder? Did the second side feel better on the elbows? Okay, good. It's one of those things that you don't notice until it's round 3 or 4, and you're like, wait a second.
I've always been saying it to myself, don't want to do it, and then I just do it.
I know. The natural tendencies, we can't resist them. Okay, by popular demand, we all want to sit down. Is that what we're looking at? Can you come to one last downward facing dog, please, as you lift your hips to the sky? The last one of class, I promise. Downward facing dog. Walk your hands to come as wide as your mat. Bring your feet an inch wider than they are already. Take a breath where you are. And on your next inhale, come forward to plank pose so you can lower all the way down to your belly. A few breaths in cobra. Hug the shoulder blades together. And now stay and pause in your cobra. Press your feet down. Slide the ribs back. Hug the shoulder blades together. And slide the sides of your throat back so your head is in line with your heart. A deep breath in. And on your exhale, lower all the way back down to your belly. As you press up through to tabletop, in a moment you'll come to lie onto your back with your head to the front of the room, feet to the back of the room, and have a couple of things close by as you come to lay down. So have one of your blocks somewhere you can easily reach it, And also have your therapy balls somewhere that you can easily reach those too. If anyone needs a block or therapy balls, please let me know and I can bring some over to you. But as you come to lie all the way onto your back, bend your knees, bring both feet onto the floor. Let your knees and legs rest into one another so that the weight of your legs supports the other. And as your hands rest onto your belly or onto your chest, take 3 full breaths into those palms. The story of Hanuman itself, leaping from the known into the unknown. He never lost sight of who he was. He never transformed or shifted who he was. The stories always remind himself of who he's always been. So here, after the leap's completed, it's the breath that remains. Can you slow down your next inhale? And lengthen the exhale out and let the parts of you connected to the floor get 2% heavier. Now for a few rounds in supported bridge pose, keep your knees bent, but walk your heels closer towards your hips and let your feet be hip width apart. Bring your arms alongside of your body, and as you press your palms into the floor, wiggle the shoulder blades towards each other. Press down through your feet and lift your hips just enough to slide a block to its lowest or second lowest height underneath your hips. Have this block be not underneath the curve of your low back, but more under the weight of your pelvis, under the hips itself. And once you find somewhere you can be supported by, snuggle the shoulder blades towards one another. Press the back of your head softly into the ground to lift your chin away from your chest. And now your hands might stay here. You might rest them on your hips or on your belly. But another slow breath in through the nose and a longer breath out through the nose or mouth. Feel the cool air as it comes in through the nose and the warmth of your exhale as you offer that breath out. Now, after a few breaths, press down through your feet just enough to lift your hips up and slide that block out from underneath your butt. Once your butt comes back to the ground with your feet as wide as your mat, being mindful of any props or neighbors, drop your knees over to the right, like windshield wipers on a car. As you inhale, bring your knees back up through center. And even open your mouth to let it out as you drop your knees over to the left. One more side with your breath. Inhale to bring the knees all the way up. A long exhale to drop the knees to the right. Last time, an inhale to bring the knees all the way back through center. And as you exhale, let the knees get heavy to the left. Now, after you've gone evenly and the knees come back up, give them a hug in towards your belly or chest. Maybe it's stillness you might desire. You might make small circles with your knees, feeling your low, your middle, and your upper back connected to the ground. But take a deep breath in through the nose and open your mouth to let that breath out. Now, with care, release the hold of your legs down to the earth. This evening, I'll talk you through some therapy ball work in the glutes. We spent a lot of time engaging them and using them throughout practice. So here, as you grab your therapy balls, feel free to take them out of their tote so you can hold a therapy ball in each hand. And now holding the therapy balls, lift your hips just enough to bring them to the top of your butt cheeks on either side of your tailbone, on either side of your sacrum, really in the muscle and flesh of your butt rather than the bones of your low back. And now once you find a place you can be curious about and breathe in, let your hands get heavy alongside of you. Take a big breath in through the nose and even open your mouth to let that breath out. Now as you keep your feet steady, slowly sway your butt an inch or two over to the right and feel the knees move to the left. And then butt moves to the left as your knees slowly swivel to the right. And as you go on your own, sway your butt from side to side and feel the therapy balls move along the upper fibers of your butt cheeks. The more you sway, they slowly might get wider and wider apart, and that's okay. But feel that landscape of the upper glutes as you breathe. And now that after you've gone evenly from side to side, the next time your knees come back through center, use your hands and lower those therapy balls another inch or two, more to the middle of your butt. Start them pretty close together because they'll get eventually wider apart, but offer it to your breath, a full breath in. And even open your mouth to let that breath out. And now on your own, sway your hips over to the left and knees to the right. And hips to the right as your knees move to the left. And on your own, you'll go back and forth, feeling those therapy balls moving along the middle of your butt cheeks. And over time, and eventually, they'll get wider and wider apart. And without rushing them to get there, they might end up towards the outer edges of your hips, the outer seams of your pant legs. And as you keep them that wide, bring your hips back through center and start to heel toe both of your feet over to the left and drop just your right knee to the right so that right therapy ball gets into the outer right butt cheek. A big breath in through your nose. Try to open your mouth to let it out as you unclench your fists, your fingers, your jaw, and even that right butt cheek that might have tightened on top of the therapy ball. And after a few breaths on side one, as you draw your knees and walk your feet back through center, slowly heel toe both of them over to the right side of your mat. And with that left therapy ball in your outer left butt cheek, drop your left knee to the left. Breathing. A long breath in through your nose and a deeper breath out through your nose or parted lips. And as you find your next breath in, draw your knees back up through center, bring your feet through center, and use your hands to pop the therapy balls out as you let the weight of your butt drop down onto the ground. Take a breath into what you don't often see with your eyes, but you might more than clearly feel. And the next place to meet is in your pose of rest. So I invite you to take a few moments here to take anything it is that you need, any props you'd like to use to support yourself, maybe a rolled up blanket under your knees to let your low back settle to the earth. Maybe you're rolled over onto your side or laying on your belly. You might let your hair down or set your glasses safely off to the side for the time being. But know that as you find your way into your pose of rest, you can shift or adjust or alter the shape that you're in at any given point. But as your body begins to drape down onto the earth, the leap's completed, and the breath remains. Without the need to think or count or control the breath in any way. Can you feel that soft steadiness of your breath slowly dissolve the entire practice that was? Let your breath help you arrive to where you are now. And your breath creates a little more room for what has yet to come. For these next few moments, let each round of your breath, let your body become heavier into the earth. And the heavier you become, the more spacious you might just start to feel. Begin to deepen your breath. Take a longer breath in and a sweeter breath out. Take another breath in and down. Let it fill you up. And exhale to offer all of that breath out. Let your breath begin to slowly awaken the body that you're in with any gentle movement that feels supportive to you. You might roll your wrists or your ankles in one or the other direction. You might tip your head slowly from one side to the other, heavy against the ground. Or being mindful of any props or neighbors. Perhaps your arms reach away from your legs, or you draw your knees in towards your chest. But when the time comes, begin to bend both knees, feel your feet heavy on the ground. As you reach your arms overhead and roll to any side of your choice to curl into yourself. With the least amount of effort needed, press into the ground and come up to rise to a tall seat facing the front of the room, just as we started. And as you begin to draw your hands to center anywhere that feels for you, we'll close our time the same way we began, with one more breath. Take a long breath in and a deeper breath out. You might bow your head to your heart or lift your hands towards your head in such a simple but profound gesture of self-reverence, bowing to yourself and to one another who practiced right alongside with you. And I bow to each one of you all. Thank you so much for choosing to be here and being together. Thank you, everyone. Good luck in the rain. It's starting really soon, so I ended just a few minutes early so we could all be as dry as possible. But take care of yourselves, drink water. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you really soon. The thunder is coming.